Hello Wolfpack. Bitcoin today, and we're going to be looking at the actual chart rather than just a scenario like we did yesterday, because there wasn't too much to talk about yesterday, but today there is. And today I want to bring up the potential for the start of a dead cat bounce, and also what we will be doing in reaction to that, because I have said historically that in order to continue, or restart the bull market. I think we're in a bear market right now, but in order to restart the bull market, we need to be conquering 53k, right? To see a continuation to the upside. Once we conquer 53k, I think that all-time highs are the next step for Bitcoin. Okay, so once we conquer this region here, all-time highs are the next step for Bitcoin. Sorry about that. Let me just check my phone quickly, see if it's an alert from TradingView. No worries, it's just an altcoin alert. So basically 53k stems from the left shoulder we have here in September, and also the fact that 53k also stems from us flipping that left shoulder and the bull market support band, as well as the 50 and 200 day SMAs, which would both flip above 53k as well. But mainly the bull market support band and the left shoulder, right? Once we flip a left shoulder formation, and I keep saying shoulder, right, because I think what we're in right now and what we could be seeing is a head and shoulders pattern in which we see one shoulder here, bounce, and then another shoulder forming, right? And if we only go up to 53k or below 53k, it would be a very clear head and shoulders pattern. Whereas if we conquer 53k, we'd invalidate the head and shoulders pattern and actually continue the trend upwards and break past this major 53k resistance. Because 53k is a very strong resistance zone, right? If we're looking historically, 53k has been the dividing zone on Bitcoin. As to whether we're going parabolic or whether we're going down, even in altcoin season sense, right? Even in that altcoin season we saw in May, 53k was the level in which we held there. So 53k is a major level of support / resistance that we need to be breaking to the upside and flipping quite confidently. And if we looked at the VVPR, the volume profile will tell us the same thing, but we've looked at that quite extensively recently. And what we need to be looking at now on Bitcoin is actually what we would be doing in case of this happening, right? Because what we've seen recently in the last 2 days is quite a bullish pattern. We've seen a long downside wick scooping below 40k down to around 43 at 39.8k. Like we saw in September, same thing happened in September. We wicked strongly to the downside and then saw a strong reaction. And we've seen that reaction come through. And we've seen a bullish engulfing candle on Bitcoin. Now, this current daily candle hasn't really done much, right? Because it's very early days. And I will say that we still are below resistance. As you can see on the 4-hourly chart, we still have a long way to go. But what I will be saying is that if we do break above, let me just close these tabs for a second. If we do break above the 9 EMA, which is this blue line here, I would be confident enough to enter a swing trade on Bitcoin. It is not very often in Bitcoin that after a strong trend, you break above the 9 EMA and then you fall back below. Fake outs don't happen very often with the 9 EMA, okay? What you usually see at the bottom of strong trends, such as here in late July, you see a close above the 9 EMA and then you see a long upwards trend starting to begin, okay? Same thing happened in September. You close above the 9 EMA, you see a long upwards trend start to begin. Now, the reason why sometimes you do see these fake outs, which you'll notice over here, is because the fake outs tend to happen on regions that are not critical support. Now, if you look closely at where we've actually bottomed out after closing on the 9 EMA, it happens in major support blocks, such as the support block we had down here at around the 30k region, okay? 30k to 28k, that's a major support zone. When we wick into that and then immediately close above the 9 EMA, on all occurrences that it's happened, same with 40k, we enter a sharp upwards trend. Now, just because we might see an upwards trend, it doesn't mean it'll take us to new all-time highs. In fact, if we close above the 9 EMA, I'm not predicting new all-time highs at all. Like I've said, I'm only predicting new all-time highs once we reach above 53k. However, if we do right now in this next daily candle, right, and I don't mean in a week, I mean right now in this next daily candle, because it's going to look dramatically different in a week, come up above the 9 EMA, close above it convincingly, I would be confident enough on Bitcoin to enter some sort of swing trade position. And obviously the sell targets for that swing trade would be anywhere between 48k and 53k, depending on how bullish you're on Bitcoin and depending on what's actually happening in the next few weeks on Bitcoin. Where would you set your stop loss? Well, below 40k would be a reasonable place to set your stop loss. Be prepared. We do sometimes see wicks below 43k. We do sometimes see wicks below 43k. Sorry about that. Sorry, below 40k like we saw here yesterday and like we saw in September. However, it's unlikely if we close above the 9 EMA that wicking below it would sustain an upwards trend. If we wick below it, we'll probably just come back and just consolidation. So that's a bit of a little trading signal there. So look, we have, quite low volume on this move upwards, and I'm not, I'm not completely confident that we're going to actually break above here. But if we do, I would be confident enough to enter a small position on Bitcoin with a stop loss below 40k, in which case, you'd be buying in at around 43k, and you'd be risking probably 6 to 7% of Bitcoin, of your Bitcoin bag that you would have bought there, for a gain of up to 11 to 22%. So it's a pretty good risk reward ratio in my opinion. And that's just what I'd be doing. And it's also worth noting another reason why I would buy if we do close above the 9 EMA is because if we close above the 9 EMA, we're very likely to see a bullish MACD cross, because that would come from another green candle, obviously. And this is on this daily candle, right? If we close bottom on this daily candle, we're going to see a bullish MACD cross. We'll see a double bottom on the RSI as well. And we'll be bottoming out in a major support zone that is supported by the volume profile, telling us we're at a crevice. And so, yeah, for sure, this would be a very logical bottoming out zone for a dead cat bounce. Again, do I think the dead cat bounce will take us to an all-time high? No, I think we need to be focusing on one step forward at a time, and the next step is 53k. If we can break that, then we can start looking at all-time highs. As long as we are below 53k, the next logical target for Bitcoin is on the weekly chart here at the 200-week SMA. That's very important to note. As long as we are below 53k, the next logical target for Bitcoin is the 200-week SMA. All right, and that's going to be happening between, in my opinion, somewhere in Q3. So probably around the 22 to 25k region, somewhere around the 25k region, okay? So as long as we're below 53k, we're targeting 25k on Bitcoin in Q3. And we've gone over that multiple times in the past as to why I think that's the case. Do I even think there's much of a chance of Bitcoin actually breaking 53k? Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't think it looks too good right now. We're below basically everything. I mean, here we go. This is one thing we're holding here. The center line of the Gaussian channel has been wicked successfully, and we've actually bounced off that. So that's a bullish line. But I mean, in terms of everything else, we've lost basically everything. We've got very, very, very little left on Bitcoin to hold on to. And so it wouldn't be logical to assume it's going to happen. You'd have to be reacting when it does happen rather than assuming it's going to happen. That's just a logical step you'd have to make as a technical analysis, as a technical analyst, sorry. We've been bearish in the market since 66 to 63k. We were bearish when everything was telling us it's time to flip bearish, and we're going to be bullish when everything's telling us it's time to flip bullish, and that would be above 53k. However, this swing trade, what this will do is it will actually give you an opportunity here, because if the scenario in which we do flip 53k does come around, then you would have entered a swing trade at 43k, and you wouldn't sell, right? And then you just break 53k and you keep going upwards, and then you'd have a 43k position on Bitcoin. And so what we're kind of doing is we're kind of hedging our bets a little bit. Even though I'm long-term, well, it depends what you mean by long-term, but next 6 months, I'm bearish on Bitcoin, okay? It doesn't mean that I can't hedge my bets when I see an opportunity. And this is definitely an opportunity. Dead cat bounce is needed here. We've been downtrending for 62 to 63 days. It wouldn't be surprising at all to see a dead cat bounce here. I don't think the volume would be there to support it all the way to the upside past 53k. If it is, I'm happy, right? Because I would have entered a swing trade at 43k, and plus, I would have made more money at that point. Because if you're above 53k, the market's going to be bullish again. And guess what? If the market's bullish again, more people are going to watch my videos as well. So trust me, guys, I really want the market to go up here. But, we'll have to wait and see is kind of what I'm saying. As for the 4-hourly chart, we can see we're rejecting currently off the Ikomoku cloud, which has come somewhat supporting evidence that, hey, maybe we won't be closing above the 9 EMA, and that's why you need to be waiting for the daily candle close. I don't care about wicks. Wicks mean nothing. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.